Amhara is certainly a bridge between Ethiopian and Western music.
Unusual kind of a nun.
It's about place as well because of her time in Cairo.
Her legacy needs to also be preserved for the next generation.
Amhara is a very fascinating character.
She is very curious and very interested and constantly teaches herself.
Hello and welcome. This is Amhara Media Corporation and you are watching our daily update live from Bahar Dar, Ethiopia, and I am Fikrat Dizodu. Stay with us. Local media personnel drawn from various media institutions have visited the Dreddawa Free Trade Zone, Ethiopia's first free trade zone. Let's get more from Burhan Wargana.
The aim of the visit, organized by Ministry of Government Communication Services to show to the personnel the activities at the country's first trade zone since its inauguration in August 2021. The Dreddawa Free Trade Zone, which includes an industrial park and a dry port, would improve trade activities, create job opportunities, enhance transfer of knowledge, and reduce logistics costs. The Free Trade Zone is expected to contribute toward facilitating the implementation of trading under the African Continental Free Trade Area. The government is working to attract more investors to the strategic free trade zone with the objective of facilitating logistics and import-export trade and boost the economy of the country. The fact that Dreddawa city is an industrial village possessing dry port, railway, land and air transport makes it an ideal center for a free trade zone. The Dreddawa Free Trade Zone, Ethiopia's first free trade zone, covers an area of 4,000 hectares and includes the Dreddawa Industrial Park and a dry port.
With financial, health and climate shocks threatening to reverse 2 decades of development progress in Africa, experts have called for urgent concessionary financing to help the continent build resilience and boost economic growth. Burhan Wargana reports.
The experts made the remark during a one-day virtual workshop on catalyzing access to IMF Resilience and Sustainability Trust organized by AfriCatalyst and the Economic Commission for Africa. According to the experts, a mix of shocks including food and fuel impact of the Russia-Ukraine war, climate change impacts, conflict and tighter global financial conditions have increased Africa's development financing gap and debt vulnerability. Economic Commission for Africa Director, Macroeconomics and Governance Division, Adam Ilhiraika said, in the past 6 decades, every global recession has led to a rise in global government debt and that many African countries had increased their public debt. He added, a bulk of the public debt was incurred between 2020 and 2021 when countries sought to combat the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. As a result, many countries were struggling with high debt and in servicing it, which was impeding poverty reduction and hindering their recovery from shocks. Despite national and international efforts, an increasing number of countries on the continent continue to struggle with substantial debt burdens and servicing their debt, with some already in debt distress or at high risk of debt distress, Ilharika said, emphasizing that this was impeding resilience building to future shocks, which is key for sustainable development. In a bid to help developing and low-middle income countries build resilience to external shocks and achieve sustainable growth, the International Monetary Fund established the Resilience and Sustainability Trust. Under the Resilience and Sustainability Trust is the Resilience and Sustainability Facility, an innovative financing instrument to help countries address long-term structural challenges including climate change adaptation and mitigation and pandemics. AfriCatalyst, an Africa-based global development advisory firm, has developed a practical guide to inform policymakers and domestic stakeholders about the Resilience and Sustainability Facility's key features, eligibility criteria and objectives, according to Economic Commission for Africa. The guide also explores how the International Monetary Fund assistance under the Resilience and Sustainability Trust could support the design and implementation of national macroeconomic policies to integrate climate and pandemic risks, as well as the cost of adaptation into their macro-fiscal frameworks. AfriCatalyst founder and Chief Executive Officer Dauda Sembene said the Resilience and Sustainability Trust had a potential benefit for African countries reeling under high indebtedness. With the support of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, AfriCatalyst was bolstering evidence generation and technical advisory support for African policymakers to promote access of sub-Saharan African countries to International Monetary Fund financing under the Resilience and Sustainability Trust. Sembene noted there was high demand for climate financing, but available resources were limited. The International Monetary Fund was currently seeking 40 billion for the Resilience and Sustainability Trust, but had only effectively raised 26 billion US. African countries need additional resources, Sembene said, remarking that the accumulated climate finance of 52 African countries under the nationally determined contributions was estimated at 2.3 trillion US. Senior advisor AfriCatalyst Feno Hasina Rakoto Darazaka Mare said access to this financing will be granted based on the nation's reform strengths and debt sustainability. The concessional loans have a 20-year maturity and a 10.5-year grace period. Borrowers will pay an interest rate that is a modest margin over the 3-month SDR rate, with the poorest countries getting the most favorable financing terms.
Minister of Agriculture Girma Amente said Ethiopia has become wheat exporter, shifting from being wheat recipient through its relentless effort of wheat production. Yayu Malasa will give us the detail.
A chapter of history where Ethiopia used to import 70 million quintals of wheat every year, earmarking more than $700 million to meet its citizens' basic bread consumption, has been closed. According to the minister, following the reform process, wheat cultivation, Green Legacy Initiative, and recently, Yilmat Trufat programs are among the initiatives that have registered successful results. During an exclusive interview with Ethiopian news agency, Minister Girma Amente said wheat cultivation has become a great success that has moved Ethiopia to a new height. The minister added Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's determination and success in wheat development has transformed Ethiopia from being a wheat recipient to a foreign market supplier. Recall that Ethiopia, which is the birthplace of wheat diversity, was not able to achieve wheat self-sufficiency and imported wheat for centuries, adding that this chapter is now closed. The minister described the determination Prime Minister Abiy demonstrated in wheat development as a turning point in the history of Ethiopia. During the 11th ordinary session of the House of People's Representatives, the Premier responded to questions raised to him by members of the Parliament on 6 months' performance report on Tuesday, saying that wheat was produced more than planned during the dry and summer season. The Prime Minister added that wheat production exceeded domestic consumption, and it was for the first time that Ethiopia exported its products to the foreign market. The Agriculture Minister further stated that the success recorded in wheat cultivation in the past years of reforms demonstrated the collaboration, determination, and commitment of the leadership as well as research institutes and producers. He pointed out that when Ethiopia has won international recognition in wheat during the last years of reform, the role of farmers was crucial. It was possible to export wheat production beyond domestic consumption to the foreign market because of the farmers who had never seen wheat beyond consumption and aid recipients were able to work hard. Girma said, since then, we have witnessed that the farmers have the desire and motivation to produce more and use the new technologies provided by the government.
The National Digital Agricultural Extension and Advisory Service Roadmap 2030 Stakeholders Forum formally launched at the implementation of the roadmap. Moda Muluye.
In his opening remark, Ethiopian Agricultural Transformation Institute Chief Executive Officer Mandefo Neguse emphasized the roadmap's role in improving farmers' life, especially women and youth farmers. According to him, the roadmap is developed with target in mind to increase farmers' productivity, improve farmers' climate resilience, empower women and youth farmers, and improve nutrition and food security for rural households. Agriculture State Minister Mallas Makonnen highlighted on his part the development of digital agricultural extension service, its importance and the role of the private sector in the implementation of the roadmap.
We believe that the roadmap which ATI is mandated to lead through strong integration and collaboration with Ministry of Agriculture will play a key role in coordinating efforts for empower and enable farmers, including youth and women, by using digital systems to provide access to information in a timely and accurate manner.
He also explained that the roadmap has been developed using a constructive and iterative approach. Digital Economy Advisor at the Office of the Prime Minister, Miriam Said, also noted the importance of digitalizing the agricultural sector in the overall economy of the country.
Multiple efforts are ongoing to link the smallholder farmers to markets through e-commerce platforms. However, additional efforts are required in building digital skills, upskilling and reskilling smallholder farmers through large campaigns, but also by using human-centered design approaches to launch relevant products to the smallholder farmers and ensure inclusivity.
The full-day forum, whose objective was bringing together key stakeholders in the digital agricultural ecosystem to promote collaboration, coordination and learning, was held in the presence of high-level federal and regional government officials, representatives of development partners, NGOs and private enterprises.
This is Amhara Media Corporation and you are watching our Thursday update. Proceeding to news beyond borders. A Danish tanker flying the Liberian flag was attacked by pirates of Congo-Brazzaville in the Gulf of Guinea and contact was lost for 3 days with the crew of 16 sailors. The ship owner, Monayasa, indicated during this attack, which took place on Saturday evening 138 nautical miles west of the port of Pontinore, the international waters pirates were able to board the Monayasa reformer and the entire crew put themselves in security in the citadel of the ship. No communication with the sailors of this maritime supply vessel, 100 meters long and with a capacity of 13,700 tons, has taken place since the company said in a press release. According to Congolese authorities, 3 men attacked the boat which was in the area to supply ships with fuel. A Pointe-Noire port official contacted by Agence France Presse said it was 3 men who took him hostage and since then the crew can no longer be reached. After visits to Morocco and South Africa, the World Cup Trophy Tour landed in Brazil, one of the favorites to win this year's tournament. The event was attended by legends of women's football such as former Brazil player Formiga, former Brazil player Miralles Mota said they know that it will be difficult, it was never easy. One more battle, she hopes the girls can perform good football and bring the trophy home and they have been so close to it. She hopes this year it comes to Brazil. Morocco, Zambia, Nigeria and African champions South Africa have all qualified for the event hosted in Australia and New Zealand starting on the 20th of July. The European Union on Tuesday defended its record of helping to relieve the suffering of migrants in Libya after United Nations-backed investigators accused the 27-nation bloc of abating human rights abuses and other crimes in the largely lawless North African countries. Let's get more from the report. Speaking at a news conference in Brussels, European Commission spokesperson Peter Stano said they were actively trying to solve the very difficult situation on the ground, as well as looking into the concerns that were raised.
Thank you, Lauren. And indeed, of course, we are aware about these latest findings, and we are also very much aware about the very difficult situation on the ground, which we are trying to solve. We have worked also with the UN fact-finding mission when it was in Libya, mainly through our delegation in Tripoli. So we are, of course, taking seriously the concerns they are raising. We are looking into it.
Libya is a major departure point for people from northern Africa and elsewhere willing to make the perilous Mediterranean Sea crossing in poorly maintained boats in search of better lives and sanctuary in Europe. At least 529 migrants were reported dead and 848 others missing of Libya last year, according to the United Nations International Organization for Migration. More than 24,680 people were intercepted as they tried to leave by the Libyan Coast Guard and brought back. Presenting a report on Monday by a United Nations commissioned fact-finding mission in Libya, investigator Chaloka Bayani said that European Union assistance to the Libyan authorities, Migration Department and the Coast Guard has aided and abated the commission of the crimes, including crimes against humanity.
Covering the needs of the people who are in Libya, both the migrants but also the host communities which are affected by this. So this is where the money goes. So I don't agree with the claims that our money is going to finance the business model of the smugglers or of those who are misusing and mistreating people in Libya. Quite to the contrary, most of the money goes in order to take care of these very people.
The report said that migrants, some of whom may have been eligible for asylum, were apprehended, detained and disembarked in Libya solely to prevent their entry into Europe as a corollary of both European immigration policy and the economic agenda of migration in Libya through their subsequent detention and exploitation. The report also said that investigators believe the European Union and its member countries directly or indirectly provided monetary and technical support and equipment such as boats to the Libyan Coast Guard and the Directorate for Combating Illegal Migration, which were used to intercept and detain migrants. This is Amhara Media Corporation and you are watching our Thursday update live from Bahar Dar, Ethiopia. And now let's see the foreign currency exchange rate of the day.
Amhara is certainly a bridge between Ethiopian and Western music.
Unusual kind of a nun.
It's about place as well because of her time in Cairo.
Her legacy needs to also be preserved for the next generation.
Amhara is a very fascinating character.
She is very curious and very interested and constantly teaches herself.
This is all we got for today. I am Fikra Dizodu and you are watching our daily news. Goodbye and have a nice time.